Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over the testing and disassembly of the throttle body off the 22RE on my 92 Toyota 4Runner. Taking this off is pretty straightforward. It has 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 bolts in a stud actually, but and then 4 vacuum lines and 2 coolant lines. One and the other one's down here. I removed, you have to drain the coolant to do this. I also removed the top radiator hose just to give me more room. And you'll have to unhook the throttle position sensor and the throttle cable. But pretty straightforward. I usually like to take a picture with my phone before I disassemble it, all these vacuum lines and connectors and stuff. That way I can go back and look. You can either take a picture, or a lot of people, you could put tape on this and put a mark on it. However you decide to do it. I recommend that you label things. This throttle body, the IAC uses coolant to adjust the position of it, unlike modern cars that use electronic solenoid. I was experiencing a high idle on this when it was warm, and it wouldn't come. It was running about 1,000 RPM, maybe 1,200 RPM when it was warm, and it would not come down. So either had a vacuum leak somewhere, or the IAC was not working. But I'll take this over to the bench and show you kind of what I did to figure it out. All right, so now we got this on the bench here. I'll go over the operation of this idle air control valve here. So coolant comes through those 2 hoses and runs through this passageway here. Comes in here, goes out here, and runs through here up into the throttle body. But the actual valve, the idle air valve, is right there where that spring is, and it operates kind of like a thermostat. So it has got a wax pellet in there, and when the coolant gets warm, the wax melts, which closes the valve right here. I have the cover off. Here's the cover. Goes right there. But anyway, it closes that off, and then thereby not allowing air to go past the throttle plates to increase idle. You can test this I boiled some water on the stove in a pot, and used a thermometer, and got up to about it was 150 degrees, and dumped it in here so it'd come out here and get this warm, and then saw that it was not, this valve here was not closing. So thereby determining that it was bad. So you can adjust this. See down in here. Let me show you a flashlight here. It's got those 2 little notches there, and it is threaded. So you can, it is adjustable, but I was unable to find a tool to fit that, a spanner. Probably I couldn't find a tool, and I really honestly didn't want to. I could have made one, but I didn't really want to put it in that amount of time to make one. So I just decided to buy a new one. There we go, nice and shiny. But you can still see the see how it works. Same thing. And also this gasket, this O-ring gasket around here, needed to be replaced because this has probably never been taken apart, and this gasket would not have sealed if I would have just bolted it back up because it's all smashed down. And I couldn't find this O-ring anywhere, just by itself. I couldn't find it for sale anywhere. So I ended up I got this from O'Reilly, and it came with the O-ring and everything. And we will bolt it back up, and we'll see how it works. Hopefully the idle will be fixed. And if it's not fixed, then there's some other things that I have to look at. But anyway, when you're disassembling this, you want to make sure on the throttle position sensor, you do not take this apart. You don't mess with it, because if you unbolt it, then the throttle position sensor is not gonna. You're gonna have to reset it. So it's just one more thing. So wouldn't mess with that. And but I just took some carb cleaner. This thing was really dirty, and cleaned it all up, and it's looking pretty good. Another spot to check is this screw right here, and you should before you take it apart, screw it all the way in until it bottoms out, count the number of turns, and then take it out, so then you know approximately where it was at when you disassembled it. But there's an O-ring in here. And that was really hard, and it wasn't sealing, so there was air bypassing that. This is the idle set screw. So my O-ring was all messed up. So it's another area where you probably want to check, and if you're taking this apart and rebuilding it, is replace this O-ring. And I think they do make a specific O-ring, but I had one in the kit, in my O-ring kit, that fit. And I would recommend, I use this stuff right here called Sill Glide from obviously Napa. It's really good for O-rings, anywhere, like just gives a little lubrication, so it won't, especially like not so much on this, but other areas where O-ring you're putting it in, if there's a sharp edge, it'll cut it if it's dry. So this gives a little lube, and makes everything, it just seals up a little bit better. And it's also really good for brake parts. That's kind of what it's actually made for. Right there it says brake parts, but it's good for on the pins on your calipers and stuff like that. But I like to use it on O-rings. But anyway, I will put this back on here, and put this new one on, and put the coolant, refill it with coolant, and see how it runs. All right, so you can see as soon as I got all the air worked out of the system, because I think there was a big air bubble in the IAC down in here. You see on my thermometer that it was only like 80 degrees. So I think there was a big air bubble. That's why the idle was taking a long time for the idle to come down. But as soon as I got all the air worked out, the idle came down to around 850. I just had a little adjustment to do. Not bad. But yeah, while I had all that apart, I went ahead and I replaced these coolant lines right here, the top one and the bottom one that goes under there, because you might as well. And I got a new radiator hose here and on the two lower ones. Anytime I'm doing work, you know, or you have something apart, you might look at those things, and you got the coolant drained anyway, so it's cheap insurance. So, and I just on these, I didn't. They make molded hoses here specific, but they were like $40 each, and I didn't want to spend that amount of money on two little heater hoses, so I just got bulk 5/16 hose, and they worked. I had to route it a little different, but it'll work. And it was only like $1.50 a foot, so much cheaper. So anyway, on to the next project, which will be, I think, the automatic disconnect on the front axle. Do that mod and a few other things. So stay tuned for those videos, and if you like it, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.